Okay, so today's video is working through a challenge problem. So for example, I just put this one up as an example. This says there's a square and then there's a little red square in the middle. How many red squares can fit inside the big square? Now, I'm going to warn you, this video is about working through a challenge problem. It is not about the answer. So, I'm probably actually going to end this video with not having an answer to this question. I just wanted you to let you know ahead of time, this is not about the answer. How do we work through a challenge problem? So, first thing I do when I see a challenge problem is I think positive thoughts. I'm being positive. So I look at this problem and I think, oh, I wonder how many red squares fit into that large square. I wonder if I'm actually able to solve this problem. And how cool would that be if I could actually solve this problem, have my answer be reasonable, and I could defend it. What I don't do is look at this problem and go, oh, a challenge problem. My teacher's making me do math that's hard. I don't like math. And you do all of that negative self-talk about the problem. You're not going to solve it, and then you're not going to feel good about yourself. So I always start off with positive thoughts. Then I also tell myself this: I know something. This is really powerful for me because I look at that problem and almost initially, if I don't have those positive thoughts, I start to think negative. I don't know anything. I can't do it. Instead, I always tell myself, Mr. McCurdy, you know something. Well, it's true. I know something. I know this is a square, and I also know this little red one is a square. I know squares. I know that if that side is 12 centimeters, then every side is equal, so each side is 12 centimeters. I know something, and I make sure to write those somethings down so I don't forget them. Start positive, then I tell myself I know something. That leads me to this step. Estimation. I'm not sitting here looking at this problem going, I can't do it, and what's the answer? I don't know. I'm just going to estimate. Best guess. Well, how many of those red squares fit into this big square? More than one? Yep. Less than 1,000,000? Yep. Less than 100,000? Yep. Less than 1,000? I think so. More than 10? Yeah. I'm estimating. I'm just ballparking my answer. Because I'm positive, I know something, and now I just have to give an estimate. Well, I'm going to estimate, educated guess, just a best guess, around 100. Okay, I've started my thinking. Put that on paper, I've started my thinking. Then that leads me to what I like to call paper and pencil thinking. Paper and pencil thinking. So many times I'm in a classroom, like I'm a teacher and a math coach, and when I come into classrooms, students look at these problems and then they go like this. They look up in the sky. Pencils and paper are nowhere to be found, and they're just looking up at the sky, trying to do it all in their head. I find that really hard. When I'm working through a problem, I want my pencil to hit the paper and start putting those plans down. All the ideas I have. If I try to do it up in my head, it's never going to work out. So, always paper to pencil thinking. Pencil to paper thinking. Get your ideas down. Then, that leads to this one. After I look at all my paper pencil thinking, I start to have a plan. I have a plan of how I'm going to do this problem. Right or wrong, it's my plan. And I'm going to start to do my plan. Now, after I do my plan, this is the final step. But I do want to remind us that in the plan, when we're doing our plan, this is what our plan is made up of. Trying and failing. Then I'm going to try again. And I'm going to fail again. Then I'm going to try again. And then I'm going to fail again. And then I'm going to try again. It's constantly doing this all the time. Trying and failing, failing and trying and failing, failing and trying. And then I land on my last step. That's right here. And I say, is my answer reasonable? That's all we're looking for. When I do a challenge problem, it might not have one answer. It might have lots of different answers depending on my thinking, depending on how much effort I put in trying and failing and trying again. I get an answer and I just have to ask, is it reasonable? Then I just go up to my parents, go up to my teacher, and I ask them, here's my answer. This is why I think it's reasonable. What do you think? And if they think my answer is reasonable as well, then I'm good. I've done my thinking. And sometimes I don't even get to this point. Sometimes I get as far as my estimation. Well, you've done some really good thinking up to that point. It's about the effort we put in. So, as a recap, let's just look at all these steps. I see a problem. First, I'm smiling. I'm smiling my whole way through it. Positive thoughts. Then, number 2, I know something. We all know something. Then, I estimate. Best guess. Put it on paper. Then, I start to do some paper pencil thinking. I don't do it up here in the sky. Paper to pencil. Put my thoughts on paper. Get to make a plan. Number 5, which is all it is try, fail, try, fail, fail, try, fail, try, fail. Then, that leads me to an answer. My answer. Is it reasonable? Did I defend it? Did I communicate my thinking? Yes, then we're good to go. We do those. So my goal for you right now is take a challenge problem. Find one. Walk through all these steps and see how you do. Okay, until next time.